Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so let us start with the prayers. Let me just do quick prayers. So Magyanatimidandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. All right, so can anybody tell me like what chapter we are right now in? What chapter are we in right now?
If I'm right, it is 6.13.
Yes. No, we are in the chapter number 6. That's right. We are in the verse number 33. Okay. 33. Verse number 33. Yes. So I would request all of you to do two things. Okay. One thing is get a paper and a pen. Okay. We are going to be doing a little bit of reflection exercises. That will be very useful. So get a paper and a pen. And if it's possible, please turn on your videos. All right, get a paper and a pen and turn on your videos. All right. So let us continue where we left. So far what has happened is Krishna has explained about the Bhagavad Gita, Dhyana Yoga, especially about controlling the mind. There are a lot of things that Krishna explained. If I have to very quickly summarize, it would be something like this. Let's do one thing. We'll go to this Veda base. This is a website where we can access the Bhagavad Gita. All right. And what I'll do is this is not a good idea to go for advanced view. Become super slow. Sorry, devotees, just give me a moment. Yeah. This is better. Yeah. So Krishna is explaining all of this in Bhagavad Gita. So it starts from here. Krishna is explaining how to execute the yoga system, starting from the Shuchau Deshe Pratishtapya Stiram Asanam Atmaya. So we will see that. So it is starting from here 11 12. Okay, let's go through it very quickly. Okay, Krishna is saying if you have to perform yoga, you should go to a secluded place. And because yoga means generally it is meditation, right? So you should go to a secluded place, sit down in a pure place. The seat should not be too high, should not be too low, and then you should be trying to fix your mind right upon Lord Krishna. And then you should be following the brahmacharya and keep your body position erect. So how many of you are like, sitting slack right now? Just sit straight right now, okay? And then meditate upon Krishna within the heart and make Krishna the ultimate goal of life. And then Krishna goes ahead and says, it's not possible to do this yoga system if you are not regulated in your eating habits and sleeping habits. That's what he's saying here in these two verses. So you have to be very regulated. If you want to be a yogi, you have to regulate your lifestyle. Your lifestyle is very important. Cannot eat more, eat less, sleep more, sleep less, have fun extravagantly, not allowed. And you cannot work excessively, nor you should be not working at all. It should be a balance. Everything is a balance. Only then you can perform this yoga system. And then Krishna says, you have to keep your mind just like how a lamp is in a windless place. A lamp in a windless place does not waver, it's just like straight, okay? Just like that, you have to keep your mind fixed without shaking. And then in that state, the yogi will experience transcendental happiness. And then he will be able to tolerate any kind of difficulties. So, therefore, we should practice yoga with a lot of faith and should not deviate from the path given by Krishna. Step by step, we should come and improve our practices, spiritual practices. And whenever our mind gets distracted, okay, let us say that we took a vow that uh, we will not be doing this kind of a bad habit that we have. We are going to stop it from today. And somehow, let's say that comes again, and then we are back to our bad habits. Okay, come back from it. Okay, if your mind is going back, bring it back under the control of the self. Like that, a yogi continues his practice and becomes free from all kinds of material contamination and starts to see Krishna everywhere and starts to see the whole world within Krishna. And such a person is never lost to Krishna, nor he loses Krishna. So he's always in touch with Krishna. So, like that, a perfect yogi is able to actually see everybody equally. Okay, the true equality, okay, not the artificial equality, but being able to see every living being, including the trees, including the birds, including the beasts, on an equal platform. That person is very advanced. Now comes the verse. So, after having explained all of this, Arjuna is saying this. Let's see what Arjuna's reaction is to Krishna's explanation about the yoga system. So I would like some volunteers. Please raise your hands and I will call you out. Please raise your hands. Yeah, Sumit Prabhu, you can start.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Arjuna Uvacha Arjuna Uvacha Yoyam Yogastvaya Proktaha Samyena Madhusudana Yatyaham na pashyami Chanchalatvat Sthitim Stiram. Translation. Arjuna said, O Madhusudana, the system of yoga which you have summarized appears impractical and unendurable to me, for the mind is restless and unsteady. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. So this is Arjuna's reaction. Very quick reaction. Arjuna is immediately saying, okay, this system is, I think it's not practical. I think the system is not practical, right? So let's go to the next verse. It's more or less similar to what this is. Yeah. Yeah. We can ask Komala Mataji. Yeah, please go ahead, please.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Chanchalam hi manah Krishna pramati balavadradam tasyaham nigraham manye vayorivasu dushkaram. Translation, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The mind is restless, turbulent, obstinate and very strong, O Krishna, and to subdue it, I think, is more difficult than controlling the wind. Thank you for the opportunity.
Okay,
Prabhuji. Hare
thank
Krishna.
you. Thank you, Mataji. So what is the main objection that Arjuna has here? To the yoga system that Krishna has proposed, what is the main problem that Arjuna is talking about? Can anybody say? It's right there in front of you.
Restless.
Mind is restless.
Mind is restless, not easy to control the mind, right? Krishna is stressing upon, controlling the mind, right? He's saying, control the mind, all of that. But it's not very easy to do that. It's easier said than done, correct? So what's happening here is Arjuna feels that mind control is impractical. Why is it impractical? Because mind is very restless. I mean, just try doing this. Let's do a quick exercise, okay? I'll give you 60 seconds of silence. You will close your eyes and think of nothing. Okay, that's the challenge, okay? 60 seconds, you'll think of nothing. And let me open the timer here, and I'll tell you once the timer is ticking. I'll give you 60 seconds, and in 60 seconds you will be thinking about nothing, and your time starts now. Okay. So I'd like to hear from you. How many of you succeeded in thinking about nothing? Is there anybody? Yeah.
Me,
Yeah. Okay.
yes.
Who's that?
Sonia Malik Prabhuji.
Sonia Matsui. Okay, nice. So, yeah, how was it like for you when you were in the 60 seconds? What happened? How was it like for you? What was happening?
Prabhuji, I practiced meditation, so I concentrated at the tip of my nose. And it's also stated in Bhagavatam to concentrate at the tip of the nose and think of nothing. So I've been practicing since long. I could.
Nice. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
How many of you were thinking about something?
A lot of disturbances around.
Many disturbances.
What kind of disturbances can you describe? Yeah.
The people are talking there.
Coming and going
Have
like
people
that.
talking.
Let's go one by one. Yeah. So Geeta Mataji is saying you have people talking around you. Okay. Yes. Ganesh.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Yes. Thank you. Ganesh Prabhu. Yes. This time.
Yeah, I am totally disturbed. Like, I mean, it's not an easy task.
Yeah. At the moment
Not
you're
an
thinking a lot of things. Maybe. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Got it.
So things are coming and going like, I mean, it's not an easy task.
It's not an easy task. Okay. Fine. What about others? What was coming into your mind? How many of you were thinking about the timer itself? I mean, when is it going to end?
Yeah, Prabhuji, I was thinking that towards the end, actually, initially I was able to, think nothing, but then I heard few voices in the background, my family. So my mind went there, and then towards the end, I was thinking now it's about to be over, the timing.
Right. Anybody else? Any other thoughts?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranams.
Yeah, I had to constantly remind myself that I should not be thinking anything because the thoughts just keep coming and going. So I had to remind myself that I'm not supposed to think anything.
So you were thinking about not thinking anything,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, perfect, very nice. So actually, if you see, Krishna is talking about this yoga system. The first thing that he said was practice this yoga in a secluded place, right? Typically in the mountains or jungles, practice yoga. Okay. Even today we can see, the bhajan kutirs of great devotees. In Hampi, near Hampi, I went once. From Hampi, if you cross the river, okay, there's some kind of a place where so many Vaishnava samadhis are there, and it is said that great acharyas have sat down and meditated there. Okay, it's like a small cave. Okay, nobody is going to come there. It's away from the city. It's away from all the noises and things like that. Okay, it starts from the secluded place. Okay, but how practical is it for us? Is the question. So Arjuna is rejecting this system. Arjuna is saying it's impractical for me. It's not possible for me. Because Arjuna, just like you and just like me, he's also a person. He's from the city, right? He's also an army officer. He's also a prince, right? And there are so many things which he has to take care of, and he has to talk to so many people, deal with so many things. It's not possible that he can go to a secluded place in the mountains, practice this yoga. So in general, it is difficult to practice. I'm not saying it's impossible. At least Arjuna is saying it's impossible for me. So the present age, Kali Yuga, it's called Kali Yuga. It is said, the characteristics of people in Kali Yuga is that they have very short lifespan and they are always disturbed. Prayena alpayusha sabhya yugavasmin yuge janaha manda sumanda matayo hi manda bhagya hi upadruta. Srimad Bhagavatam says. Upadruta means it's like there's a lot of disturbance in the mind. Everybody is very disturbed. Just like as if there is an earthquake that's going on in the mind. So it's always disturbed, okay? It's difficult. And another point is people are manda. See, not everybody is interested in self-realization. So they are not even interested in a very simple practical means of self-realization also. What to talk about, this difficult yoga system, correct? So being a practical person, Arjuna, he's asking on behalf of all of us. Sometimes it happens, isn't it? When you are in a Bhagavad Gita class, sometimes we get some thoughts like that. I don't think this is possible. I don't think this is practical. But we don't say that, we feel maybe it will be awkward if I say this. But Arjuna is asking on behalf of all of us. He's saying, Krishna, I think this is not practical for me. This system of yoga, I don't know. I am feeling maybe it's not for me, right? And we have to remember, see, Arjuna, this is 5,000 years ago. He had much better facilities. And if you remember Arjuna's story, the Swayamvara of Draupadi, he was able to concentrate on the eye of a rotating bird, right, for the Swayamvara, and he hit that eye exactly. And he was able to win that contest of Swayamvara. That is the Arjuna who is saying that it's not possible for me. So therefore, the conclusion is this system that Krishna has given so far, Dhyana Yoga system, starting from going to a secluded place, sitting on a deer skin, and completely devoid of any kind of sensual thoughts, or completely in brahmacharya, completely without any desires, without any attachment, absolutely, right, and completely focusing on Krishna. This system is not a practical system. Okay, earlier there used to be some system like, people, at least after retirement, they used to go to the forest and they used to meditate. Or they used to take a break and they'll go and meditate for 10,000 years, 5,000 years, and so on, because they used to live for so long. But we don't have that kind of time, nor do we have that kind of facility, nor do we see that Arjuna was, doing any kind of dhyana. After hearing Bhagavad Gita also, Arjuna, we never see him that, he's sitting down and doing some kind of meditation. So it may be possible for some very rare people, very, very rare people, possible, but for a general man, common man, not possible. It's not possible 5,000 years ago for Arjuna. What to talk about 2025? So I'm talking about 5,000 years ago, Arjuna had much better facilities to do this system, but he is saying it's not practical. Correct? So now, coming to the next point, that Arjuna is saying that mind is very turbulent. Mind is very turbulent. And we saw practically, when I asked you to close your eyes and think about nothing, some of you said that mind was going all over the place. Some of you were thinking about when will it end. Some of you were thinking about not thinking anything. So different kinds of thoughts. So this mind is very turbulent and it's really hard to control that mind. Okay. So it's like this, okay. It says the analogy or simile that has been used is, it is more difficult to control the wind, right? You see, we have big windmills, right? So what do we do? When there is a lot of wind, we use these windmills not to control, but to channelize that energy. So we channelize that energy into and convert into electricity. But if we ask anybody to stop that wind, it is not possible. It is not possible to keep something and stop the wind. Okay, that will just blow off. It's very difficult to control the wind because mind is very, very strong. So in the practical world, it's not, it's very difficult to control the mind. It's difficult to control the mind. How many of you agree to that? Right? How many of you agree that it's very difficult to control the mind? Or how many of you are in the opposite opinion that no, it's very easy? I want to hear from you.
Prabhuji, I want to say something.
Please,
Like,
please
I've
come.
been practicing meditation for over 20 years or more, and for today, magically, I could concentrate, like, and that too hardly for 1 minute. If I was never able to do that, it's extremely difficult, even though it has been over 20 years to me.
Thank you for sharing your realization. Sonia Mataji is saying 20 years of practice, 20 years of intensive practice of meditation, still mind is not so difficult, not so easy to control. So this is a fact, devotees, that mind is very difficult to control. Okay, so actually there is a very nice simile that is explained in the Vedas, that mind and intelligence and the senses, they have been explained in the Vedas. Has anybody heard about this example? The individual, the soul is the passenger in the car. Okay, that is, imagine one ratha, that is, there is one chariot. In the chariot, the passenger is the soul. Intelligence is the driver. So intelligence is the driver, and mind is the driving instrument, and senses are the horses. So we have got 5 horses, they are our 5 senses. And then, the thread connecting these horses and the intelligence is the mind. So ultimately, these threads are under the control of the mind, of the control of the intelligence. So therefore, intelligence is stronger than mind if it is properly trained. But for that, we have to purify our intelligence. So if we purify our intelligence, Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita also, buddhya. Buddhi means if we have a purified intelligence, then we will be able to control our mind. So how do we purify our intelligence? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained that it is possible by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. If we chant this Hare Krishna Mahamantra with humility, with great faith, okay, humility is very important. Okay, when you're chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, you should feel very humble. Trunadapi sunichena, tarorapi sahishnuna. I should feel I am so small, I am nothing. And then I should chant. So like that, if I chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, then our mind comes into our control. Then our intelligence becomes purified. Okay. So let us continue and let us see what is Krishna's response to Arjuna's objection. So Arjuna has got an objection that, well, your system, whatever you have explained so far, is not practical, at least for me, because mind is very difficult to control. Let's see what is Krishna's response. Yeah, let us see who has raised here. Yes. Premamai Kunti Mataji, yes, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam.
Bhagavad Gita 6.35. Shri Bhagwan Uvacha Pasamshayam Mahabaho Mano Durnigraham Chalam Abhyasena tu Kaunteya Vairagena cha Grihate. Translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Prabhupada teacher. Lord Shri Krishna said, O mighty armed son of Kunti, it is undoubtedly very difficult to curb the restless mind, but it is possible by suitable practice and by detachment. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you very much. So there are 2 things that Krishna is talking about. Let us see word to word meaning. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, the personality of God, it said, Asamshayam means undoubtedly. Mahabaho, O mighty armed one. So he's referring to Arjuna as the mighty armed one, Mahabaho. Manaha, the mind. Durnigraham, difficult to curb. Chalam, flickering. Abhyasena, by practice. Tu, but. Kaunteya, O son of Kunti. Vairagena, by detachment. Cha, also. Gruhyate, can be controlled. So it means Lord Krishna said, O mighty armed son of Kunti. So he's referring to Arjuna. He's saying Kaunteya means son of Kunti. Mighty armed son. It is undoubtedly very difficult to curb the restless mind. So Krishna is acknowledging our difficulty. Krishna is not saying it's so easy or something like that. He's saying yes, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. God is saying yes, it is very difficult to curb this mind. The mind has been designed in such a way, okay? We have totally how many senses? We have 6 senses. As per the Bhagavad Gita, we have 6 senses. 5 senses are our, eyes, ears, tongue, touch, skin, all of that. And then the 6th sense is the mind. And Krishna says, among this Indriya, among the senses, I am the mind. So among all the senses, Krishna says, I am the mind. So that means mind is above all the senses. And it's the most difficult to control. But if you can actually control it, Krishna says, Paramatma Samahita. That means you would have been completely absorbed in Paramatma. You would have, completely, you will get qualitative oneness with the super soul. So it is like, it is easy to control the whole world, but it is difficult to control our mind. But if we can control our mind, then something very good is going to happen. Right? So how is it possible? It is possible. Krishna is saying it is possible. It is not impossible. It is possible by abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha gruhyate. Abhyasa means suitable practice. So we have to take up suitable practice and we have to take up detachment. So let us discuss about that. So what is that suitable practice and what is that suitable practice, and detachment is something that we'll have to talk about. So first of all, practice. When Krishna is talking about abhyasa, what do you mean by practice? So I would like to ask you people, do you practice anything? Forget about spirituality. Any art or anything that you practice? Anybody has any person who sings or anyone who regularly practices even today? Despite of being in that for so many years also. Is there anybody here?
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I have learned classical Carnatic music, but I learned it during my childhood. Then I was not practicing much, but I do sing sometimes, when I get a chance, because I have a base of the music.
Okay. Thank you, Mataji. So yeah,
Thank
Hare Krishna. Anybody who practices singing or dancing, or maybe your office work, or maybe your whatever profession that you're doing, you practice, you hone your skills. Do you do that, or you don't do it, or you just go and just perform? That's it. You don't practice at all.
Hare Krishna,
Prabhuji,
Prabhu.
may I add something?
Yes, please.
And to hone your skills, because I come from this background, we had to practice, Prabhuji. First, we were taught on a dummy eye. Then we had to practice on non-paying patients. Few steps, then easy steps, then difficult steps, then small normal cases, then complicated cases, and then we were on our own like that. So practice makes a man perfect. I won't say perfect, nearly perfect.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Yes, Praveen Prabhu, you wanted to say something?
So I was saying, Prabhuji, it's very difficult. In fact, once you cross certain age, even to learn thing, I have been so I have enrolled myself for music class, and I do practice playing harmonium, but it's not easy for me now. Same time, I have my daughter. She also learn. She's very fast, and she can learn much quicker than me. So, I mean, it requires a lot of efforts to do the same thing what my daughter can do with little practice.
Requires a lot of effort, right? Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
So yeah, just like I've recently enrolled to Mridangam classes. Okay, so in that they teach Mridangam lessons. Okay, there's a lesson which the teacher says, Prabhuji says, okay, you have to practice it. So what is this practice all about? Okay, so if you practice, you will learn it properly. So this is also a practice. To control your mind is a practice. And just like if you do not practice, that skill is gone and you won't be able to learn. See, somebody who practices to swim, somebody who practices to sing, somebody who practices to dance, somebody who practices to do whatever work that you are supposed to be doing, that person will be successful. Not the person who is not ready to practice. Do you agree? Right? Yeah, go ahead. You see, the Olympics runners, they go to coaches. They go to coaches and they ask, the coach asks them a question. Okay, what is your goal? And this person says, I want to get Olympics gold. So then the coach asks a simple question. If you want to get Olympics gold, what is it that you should be doing? Correct. So then the athlete is responds that I should be practicing, and every day early morning I should be going to the ground and practicing. If I have so many years now till the next Olympics, and I should be regularly doing it. So then the coach asks, how many times is it okay if you miss couple of weeks? Will you win the medal? No, I will not win the medal. I have to regularly do it without a break, without any deviation, any distraction. If I do it for 3 years, then I can win the medal. Otherwise, there's no chance. Then the coach says, if you already know that you have to be doing this, why don't you do it? If you want to get something that you are aspiring for, why don't you put that effort that it takes for getting it, right? And then this athlete starts to think, oh, I should actually practice. It's easy to just set a goal and say, I want a gold medal in Olympics. And it's really very difficult to wake up every day morning, practice every single day, even if you like it or if you don't like it. It's the same thing. Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha grihyate. If you want to control your mind, this mind is very difficult, and Arjuna has declared mind is difficult to control. Krishna said it is very difficult to control, but Krishna said it is possible. But it is possible by practicing Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness means Navavida Bhakti, 9 types of devotional service. So the first thing that you should be doing to control your mind, the first practice that we should start is hearing about Krishna. Hearing about Krishna is the practice, and we lose touch out of the practice, isn't it? Sometimes we come to the classes and sometimes we miss the classes. But Krishna's advice is, if you miss the classes, don't stray away. Come back again, come back again, come back again, come back again. Continue your hearing. Okay, this is where our devotional practice first falls down from hearing. Then later steps. First thing is hearing should be very strong. Starting with Shravanam. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma Nivedanam. 9 processes of devotional service we should do. So the second point is detachment. So detachment, there are 2 types of detachment that are possible. One is called as the impersonal detachment. Impersonal detachment means it is more or less like a very raw kind of a detachment, where I will detach from every kind of sensual activity, every kind of activity which is satisfying my senses, completely, absolutely detached. This is a very difficult practice. This is called as the impersonal spiritual detachment. This is a different type of tapas. Just like the Buddhist, for example. The Buddhists, they will leave home, and they will not have any fixed routine, and they won't have anything like fixed food or something like that. Those who are monks I'm talking about, the Buddhist monks who have completely given up anything, they'll go and ask anybody, and whatever they get they'll eat. Just like Buddha, we have seen Buddha, Lord Buddha, he goes and begs somebody, and somebody gives some food which was poison or something like that, and then Buddha leaves his body. Happens that, right? Something like that. So it's called absolute detachment. So Buddhism and impersonalism more or less the same. They recommend absolute detachment completely. I mean, just give up everything. That's an extreme. Okay, it's very difficult to follow that kind of a impersonal spiritual detachment. Okay, but there is another kind of detachment that is called Yukta Vairagya. Vairagya and Yukta Vairagya. Yukta Vairagya means not giving up those activities which are in Krishna consciousness. So I give up all those activities which are not related to Krishna consciousness, but not those activities which are in Krishna consciousness. For example, if I have to eat something, I will offer it to Krishna and I will take it as prasadam. So it is not restricted for us to eat any nice food stuff as long as it is sattvic. So as long as there is no meat in it or onion or garlic in it, we can happily offer it to Krishna, cook it, happily do not taste it, offer it to Krishna, it becomes prasadam, and have it. There is no restriction. That is Yukta Vairagya. So that means there is no restriction that you should not earn your money, you should not have a family, you should not have any kind of sense gratification. No. Yukta Vairagya means acting in Krishna consciousness. Yukta means in Krishna consciousness. In Krishna consciousness, we try to do. So, just like if you are earning a lot of money, okay, you can offer some money to Krishna as donation. So, that is Yukta Vairagya. It's not that, I'll completely give up everything and sit down. That's not the Vairagya that we are talking about here. Okay, so Krishna is saying Vairagya is necessary. What is that Vairagya? A simple thing, okay. See, to come to this class, you have actually given up something. Yes or no? How many of you had some other engagement which you had to cancel and to come to this class? How many of you had? Yes or no? You had something or the other? If this
Yes,
class was
Prabhuji,
not there, yeah, please tell me.
so I have to give up half an hour of my office, Prabhuji, because my office ends half an hour later, and then I have to join this class half an hour before my office ends.
That's right. So you gave up something for this class. Am I right? You gave up something for this class, right? So anybody else, you had some other engagement and you cancelled that
Offline
engagement and you are here.
during this time, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji?
Off late, I don't plan anything during this time. Either I do it after or before.
Right.
It's a little difficult, but yeah, I try to.
So, yes, Mataji, thank you for adding that. So this is the kind of detachment that Krishna is talking about. Okay, I'll tell you a story. There was a person who met a sannyasi, a nice sannyasi devotee in Vrindavana, who has completely renounced everything. He is in Vrindavan. And then this person comes and tells to this sannyasi that, you have given up everything for Krishna. And you have given up even the wonderful metropolitan cities like Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, etc., Delhi, and you are in Vrindavan. Vrindavan, okay, it's like some modest, simple traffic and simple, arrangements. May not be as opulent or as comfortable as the other metropolitan cities. You've given up so many things for, for your devotional life. You have so much of vairagya. But this sannyasi said, actually, I'll tell you something. More than me, you have much more detachment, much more vairagya. Then this person was puzzled and said, what kind of vairagya do I have? Then this person said, you have given up such a kind of wonderful pleasure that we can derive by staying in Vrindavan. The kind of transcendental pleasure by worshipping Krishna that we are getting. There is so much of enjoyment in performing Krishna consciousness that every day we feel so happy. We feel so blessed. And you have stopped all of that. So you are very detached. So how many of you are understanding what I'm saying? So actually it's not a detachment. Krishna consciousness is actually attachment towards something much more happier. Right? It is towards something spiritual. So but of course, to be able to perform Krishna consciousness, you have to give up something. That is definitely there. It is not possible that you will not give up that and you will be able to do this. For example, just like Praveen Prabhu said, he had to leave 30 minutes early from his office and come to this, something like that. So it is not possible that, I'm in a meeting and I'm still hearing the class. Maybe some of you are already doing that. It's possible sometimes, but generally I'm saying, generally it is not possible that I can be in a party, in a dance party, and I'm still hearing this class, something like that, something extreme like that. I have to cut something, I have to be detached towards, sensual enjoyment and the other stuffs, whatever economic development, whatever planning that I have for some time, I have to do this hearing, I have to do the abhyasa. So this is how you can control your mind, by two things. What are the two things? Can anybody say? What are the two things that we are supposed to be doing to control our mind?
Hare Krishna,
Practice
Prabhuji.
and
Detachment and
detachment.
practice.
Detachment and practice. So what is practice? What practice are we supposed to be doing? Should
Krishna
we do some
consciousness.
kind of running
Chant.
exercise? Yeah.
Hearing,
Hearing
Hearing and
hearing.
chanting,
starts from
Prabhuji.
hearing. Nine processes of devotional service we are supposed to be doing. That's the practice that Krishna is talking about, abhyasa here. Starting from hearing. Hearing is the most powerful and the most important exercise in Krishna consciousness. This is so easy. Hearing is how many calories does it take for hearing?
Nothing.
Nothing, no calories, right? Just but even then it's very difficult. Yes?
Most difficult.
Yeah. That's the most important thing. Okay, and then the second thing was what?
Kirtanam.
Detachment.
Detachment.
Detachment. Okay. So here is a quick exercise for all of you. Take your pen and paper, and you will write down two concrete actions that you will do with respect to abhyasa. What are the two practices that you will improve from today? Just write down on a paper. What are the two practices that you will do from today to improve your devotional service? And what are the two things that you will give up for Krishna consciousness? It can be something very simple. It doesn't have to be permanently giving up or something. I'm not talking about that. Give up means, for example, you have some other engagement between 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Mondays and Wednesday. You have some other engagement, let's say. If you give that engagement up, that's also detachment. Detachment doesn't mean that I will give up my family life, something so big. Okay, detachment is just about giving up something which you are usually doing. Just like, for example, today is Ekadashi. Generally, we eat food, generally, we eat grains, but we gave up grains, right? So, as a part of this practice, devotional practice, we said, okay, we will not eat grains today. That is the kind of detachment that I'm saying. I mean, that something that you usually do, which you will not do temporarily as long as you are doing your devotional service. Some two simple activities. So, two activities that you will do as a part of your devotional sadhana, and two activities or two things or two habits or maybe two something which temporarily which you will give up for improving your sadhana. Please write down on a paper. I'll give you 60 seconds for writing this down. Okay, all right. So, who has something very interesting to share? Anybody of you has got something which you didn't think that it will come out in this exercise? Anybody wants to share? Something unexpected came up and you
Okay,
found it. Yes, Prabhu, go ahead.
let me begin the discussion anyway.
Yes, Prabhu.
Two practice that I would definitely continue and do is the one in the chanting in the morning and reading the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad and all that in the evening. And two engagements that I want to give up and spend my time with spiritual activities. One is gossiping with my wife unnecessarily for no reason in the evening, and maybe all that other activities that I generally do in the evening, going for a walk and lazing around. So those times I will spend my time reading. So these are the two things that I'm practicing and I'm doing rather. That's it,
Interesting.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Hare
Nice.
Krishna.
Thank you. So how many of you agree that if we all start to chant better, right? And stop, talking unnecessarily and start to read more, our devotional service will be better. How many of you agree to that? Right? Nice share. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Yes, next, please.
Hare Krishna
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna,
This is
Mataji. Yes,
Sunam.
please stand with.
So I have decided to improve my chanting and hearing. That is
Yes.
to chant early in the morning and hear more attentively, because generally it happens like we do hear but we don't hear it attentively, like we hear it while doing some other task, so and then later we forget what we hear. So to hear attentively, and then to chant in the morning, which requires me to get up early in the morning, that is to give up laziness, and the time we spend in watching TV or mobile, then we can devote that time in reading or hearing some lectures. So
Nice, interesting. So how many of you agree that, if we can chant better, chant attentively and stop, our distraction in mobile or TV and spend more time in Krishna consciousness, we'll become better devotees. We'll be able to control our mind. How many of you agree to that? Right? Nice. Interesting. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you, Mataji. Anybody else wants to share?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Sunita,
Prabhuji,
please. Yeah. Yeah.
So Prabhuji, this is to improve devotional service. I've started visiting more temples regularly. I mean, naturally I get attracted. So whenever I have time, I like to visit temples, and I'm doing it more often. And the second one is I don't eat anything solid without praying in the morning. Without, that's my first thing. That first prayers, and only then I can have my breakfast. So that's one little change I've brought in my lifestyle. And the two habits which I've given up is like basically like working people. It's difficult, especially to sit in class because we have US timings and all that. But I plan it little well, so I keep myself available 7 to 8. Be it even there are functions, my personal uh, functions, or my calls. I try my best that I plan it or chalk it out in a way that I keep myself available for this class, whatever time we've been planning. So I consciously do it. And the second one, what I'm trying to give up is, whenever I get angry, I think that this is not the right thing. I need to calm down. As
Yes.
a human, we have the tendency to get angry, but whenever I feel, I consciously think I should calm down. I'm trying my best though. Of course, I'm sure it takes a little longer time, Prabhuji, but I'm trying hard.
Sure.
Thank you,
Thank you for
Prabhuji.
sharing. What was the second thing that you said you want to improve or do?
To control my anger, Prabhuji, the first thing is
You said prayer before
uh,
food. No, the first thing, two things that you want to do.
the other one is visiting temples more
Visiting
often.
temples more often. Okay, thank you very
Yeah,
much. Okay, so
thank.
thank you very much, Mataji. So how many of you think that, if we visit temples more often, if we go to the temple more often, there is more connection. We feel more faithful, right? There is more faith in us. We feel more connected to God. And if we can have some ritual like, doing, finishing our prayers before eating even our breakfast, if we can finish our chanting or, our Mangalarti, it will help us. How many of you think that this will help our devotional service, right?
Yeah, it does help, Prabhuji. It just makes us feel very positive through the day,
Correct.
especially you finish in the morning. Um, I mean, it gives you automatically a kind of a confidence that you've done right things and the day will go right.
That's right. Wonderful. Very nice. And the
And
second 2 points were
one
also
more,
interesting.
yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, the 2 points where you said plan. Okay, how many of you agree that, planning is everything? We plan for everything, isn't it? If you have something very important, you plan for it, isn't it? Let us say you sign up for some some extra, some professional course. Let us say you have paid 10 lakh rupees for that course. Let us say, would you not plan for it, or would you miss all the classes? Let us say you plan for it, right? So
Exactly.
so plan for it. So if you plan, you'll have time. If you don't plan, you'll not have time. That's a nice share. Yeah, nice point. And the second point was, if we can calm down when we are angry, that will save us a lot of our emotional energy, because this anger drains us emotionally. And when our emotional energy is gone, we don't have enough energy to do spiritual practices because we are disturbed. So planning nicely for hearing the abhyasa, come to the class, and to give up anger will improve our devotional service. Okay, thank you very much. Hare Krishna Mataji. Yeah, one
Hare
last share. Yes, Gangai Prabhu wanted to say something.
Yes, Prabhuji, because I am practicing every morning at getting up at attending regularly for that Mahamangalarti at YouTube, Mayapur, and I practice that at least minimum 2 slokas of Bhagavad Gita at puja time and morning after this one. And detachment, now I was regularly attending yoga class. Because of that morning, I want to attend Bhagavad Gita and chanting, complete chanting at the morning. I left up. And then unnecessarily about some people are come detachment of the politics of these things. And so this is what I am.
I didn't get that point on
Practicing.
politics. What was that? I didn't get the second.
Mataji, Prabhuji.
What was the second point you said? I didn't get that. Sorry. Second point you said something.
Second point, I was second point of this practicing is only Bhagavad Gita 2 slokas. I am
Yeah.
practicing
No, you
every day.
said for the detachment, second point.
Detachment. Second point is first point that yoga class I
Yoga
have
classes.
detached.
Yeah, you gave up the yoga classes. That's
Second point, unnecessary discussing about politics whenever.
discussing about politics. Yes, nice one. Yes, thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare
Nice.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Two nice, wonderful practices shared by Ganga Prabhu. If we all can, wake up early in the morning, Brahma Muhurta, and watch Mayapur TV live Mangalarti. Okay, every day if you go to YouTube Mayapur TV, if you go there, there's Mangalarti that is broadcasted. Okay, every day you just have to go to Mayapur TV on YouTube and watch Mangalarti. It's a very, very blissful spiritual experience. If we can do that, it is so nice. And if we can read some shlokas of Gita every single day without missing, it can be only one also, it's okay. It can be one, it can be two, depending upon your capacity, depending upon your time, you can read. But every day, if we can read one, by the end of 365 days, we would have read 365 shlokas. By the end of 2 years, we would have completed the entire Bhagavad Gita, right? The next thing was, canceling the other classes which are, conflicting with our devotional practices. That was also very interesting. Second thing was, if we discuss about politics, our consciousness gets disturbed, isn't it? How many of you think that? So when we think about politics, we start thinking about me and mine. You see, we start to take sides, right? Like BJP, Congress, India, Pakistan. So, but this is not yoga. This, what do you say, taking one side, okay, or differentiation. That's not what Krishna is talking about. So, if we can minimize that, it will help our devotional practice. Okay, so nice shares, Prabhuji. So if we can do these kind of things, it's amazing. Wonderful. Okay, I'm seeing Komala Mataji put something here. To improve hearing more and reading more and chanting attentively, the two things that Mataji wants to improve. The two things she wants to stop is to stop sleeping late in the night and to stop consciously unnecessary talks. These are very wonderful things. Definitely they'll improve our practices. So you see, devotees, just one verse, right? And so many realizations are coming out, right? So this is the power of Bhagavad Gita. Amazing. Very wonderful. Keep that coming, and let's go to the next verse. So the next verse, Krishna is saying this: for one whose mind is unbridled, self-realization is difficult work. But he whose mind is controlled and who strives by appropriate means is assured of success. That is my opinion. Whenever Krishna says that is my opinion, it's very nice. He says me mataha, me mataha, me matihi. Me matihi means my opinion. We all care for Krishna's opinion because he is the supreme personality of Godhead. He's saying, he's very humbly saying, in my opinion, just like how we say when we are speaking, we say, you see, in my opinion, this is what we should be doing, right? Yeah. So in my opinion, we should be doing this. In my opinion, they should be doing it. So this is what it is. So Krishna is saying, if you can control your mind, self-realization is very easy. It's like sure. It's confirmed. See, the only thing that's stopping us from getting success in spiritual practice, the only thing that's stopping us from getting self-realized, the only thing that's stopping us from getting love of Godhead is just our own mind. There is no external factor that is stopping you. Most of the time we are thinking, maybe it is this, maybe it is that person, maybe I don't have the best opportunity, maybe it is my family, maybe it is somebody else who is stopping me from doing it, maybe it's not anything else, okay? It's just your mind. It's your mind is the only thing that's stopping you from getting the best, the self-realization. That's it. That's what Krishna is saying. Let's go to the next verse. Now Arjuna is speaking, so there's a lot of conversation going on, right? Arjuna is talking, reacting back. Krishna said, okay, you have to do practice, favorable practice, you do. Unfavorable things, you stop. Anukulyena sankalpo pratikulyena varjanam. That's what Krishna said. Do the things which are favorable, stop the things which are unfavorable. If you do more of positive things, less of negative things, you'll definitely succeed. And if you can succeed in controlling your mind, you will be definitely getting the success in spirituality. Now Arjuna has got a great, very, very big question. Okay, it's a very big question now. This is a very big one coming out from Arjuna. Let's see what it is. Who would like to read this?
May I, Prabhuji?
Yeah, Sunita Mataji, go ahead, please.
Arjuna uvacha ayati shraddhayopeto yogach chalita manasaha aprapya yoga samsiddhim kamgatim Krishna gacchati. Translation: Arjuna said, O Krishna, what is the destination of the unsuccessful transcendentalist who in the beginning takes to the process of self-realization with faith, but who later desists due to worldly mindedness and thus does not attain perfection in mysticism? Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. This is more or less like a complete, you say, if we take the complete atheistic angle, it's a pure question put by the atheists. Okay, so it's a very big question that Arjuna is asking. He's fundamentally challenging everything that Krishna is speaking. He's saying, what is all of this? What if I can't succeed? Okay, you are saying be detached. You are saying do practice. So when I am giving up something for gaining something, naturally I am giving up something. It could be sense gratification, which is giving me pleasure, like something like watching mobile, watching TV. I could have been using that time enjoying. I'm giving up that because you said. Or maybe I could have earned more money. Maybe I could have been doing something else. Maybe I could have been taking care of my family. Maybe I could have been doing something else. But I'm giving up something for this. So definitely we are giving up something for Krishna consciousness upon Krishna's advice. And Krishna is assuring that if you are able to succeed, if you are able to control your mind completely, you'll get success, full success. But now the question is, after having done so many sacrifices, after having given up so many engagements for the sake of Krishna consciousness, whether it is limited or more, it can be less or more, depends on the type of sacrifice. Different devotees have sacrificed so many things. For example, you know, our Guru Maharaj, right? Our Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj. He is actually a son of a very rich person, okay? And his grandfather was very rich, and they have a paint company in the USA, okay? And he's inheriting a huge inheritance. He's a millionaire by inheritance. But what happened is, like, he heard one day when he was in the Brown University, when he was in his university, he heard a lecture on Buddha, and he felt that he should go to India for spirituality. And then later, what happened was, like, um, he met Srila Prabhupada. He read Bhagavad Gita. First, he read Bhagavad Gita, and he was super impressed. He said, he thought, okay, I don't have to go to US. I don't have to go to India because the spiritual master is right here. He was so super impressed by this Bhagavad Gita as it is, and he read that so many times, and he said, I want to meet this person. And he met Srila Prabhupada, and he was fully convinced. And while he was detaching, you see, there is some detachment that's going on from his regular work, from his regular family. All of this is happening. So then their family said, okay, his father said, if you're going to give up, if you're going to become a monk, Hare Krishna, you'll not get even 1 cent of money. Okay, you'll be completely, I'll not give you any inheritance. Absolutely, completely, I'll write, this property to somebody else. And our Guru Maharaj said, I don't want anything. He gave up everything. He gave up everything for the sake of Krishna. And, his father said, join the army, join the US army and fight against Vietnam. So Guru Maharaj went to Srila Prabhupada and asked, my father is telling me to join US army to fight against Vietnam. What should I do? Srila Prabhupada said, you join Krishna's army and fight against Maya, right? So this is a beautiful story. So what happened later was, of course, later his father forgave and all that, very after some years or something. So our Guru Maharaj, like, he has around 60,000 disciples, and he has, he constructed the entire Mayapur, from ground up. He used to be actually cycling on a rickshaw with all the, all the cement and all of that. He did so much of work, and today we have Mayapur, right? So like that, when you are doing some spiritual activity, there is some kind of detachment. There is something, you are giving up something. Now the final question is, what is it that I'm going to get? Am I going to get something or not? Or will it be like a complete bogus? Is the question. It's like open question. Is this going to be like completely, I'm nowhere, I'm neither here nor there, kind of a thing. So what would happen to a person who is not attaining mystic perfection? Let us say I take to Krishna consciousness, I take to some spiritual practice, and I do a little bit of it. Just like, let us say I join a Mridangam class, and the Mridangam master says, okay, you have to practice this many number of times. I'll not follow the rules. I'll do 20% of what he says. I'll do 30% of what he says. Is that okay? Is a question. Because of worldly mindedness, I take to the practice in the beginning, but later desists. But later think, yeah, this is too much. I can't do all of this, okay? This is too much. This is not practical. I thought Krishna consciousness would be nice. I got into all of this, but then this is so demanding. I can't do this. Okay, let me do a little bit of it, 20% of it, maybe 30% of what they are saying. Let me do a little bit of it. So what would happen to such a person is the question. So let us see what happens. Again, he's continuing. Arjuna is continuing. Anybody who has not read so far, would like to read this? Indra Haridas Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, go ahead. Who wants to read?
Hare Krishna.
May I, Prabhu?
Yeah.
Krishna.
Okay, Jayalakshmi Mataji, I'll give you the next one, okay?
Yeah, okay.
Go ahead, Mataji, Indra Haridas Mataji, please go ahead.
This is text 38.
Yes.
Kachinno bhayavishbrashta Chinna bramivanashyadi apradishto bhavo vimode brahmanapati. Translation. O mighty, armed Krishna, does not such a man, who is bewildered from the path of transcendence, fall away from both spiritual and material success and perish like a raven cloud with no position in any sphere? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. See, spirituality and materialism, you have to detach materialism to some extent, if not completely, to be spiritual. Just like the example that I said, to be in this class, you have to cancel your engagements, which could have helped you enjoy more, which could have helped you to earn more money, or which could have helped you to do something, maybe some productive activity or something like that. You're giving up that. And so the question is, if I'm giving up so much of time, giving so much of time for these spiritual activities, and ultimately if I'm not getting the success, will I be like a riven cloud? Riven cloud is like, sometimes there's a cloud, and when there's a lot of wind, the cloud becomes completely destroyed. I mean, the cloud it vanishes into thin air. So that means I did something, but all of it is now wasted, complete waste of time. So is it like that? Because I didn't get success in the spiritual life, because I was not able to go back to Godhead, because of worldly mindedness, because I have not completely put my efforts into this, I put only some percentage of efforts into this, will I be at a loss because I could have rather not done anything at all? That would have been rather better, maybe. Is that the case? Arjuna is asking. That is the question. So, of course, there's a lot of explanation here. Little bit of technical explanation is there. We'll come back to it. But before that, let's just continue here. And hear Krishna's answer and then come back to this shloka for technical details. And Arjuna is, Jayalakshmi Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Text 39. Etanme संशयं कृष्ण चेतुमर्हस्य शेषतः त्वदन्यः संशयस्यास्य चेतान्न युपपद्यते. Translation. This is my doubt, O Krishna, and I ask you to dispel it completely. But for you, no one is to be found who can destroy this doubt. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Nice. Yes, thank you, Mataji. So just see the mood of Arjuna. He is such a surrendered soul, and he's saying, if it is not for you, nobody can answer my question, and you are the only person who is capable of answering this. Absolutely right. Krishna is he's a spiritual master of the universe, and he is very much capable of answering any question anybody has. And this is like a very big question that Arjuna has in his mind, which is stopping him from completely surrendering to Krishna, or at least even taking up Krishna consciousness, because he has got a doubt that if I don't succeed, if all my effort is in waste, right? So for example, let me tell you, there are some things like, we see a lot of people who try for government jobs. There's so many people who try for IAS, right? And they spend 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 years, 5 years, sometimes even more than that, 6 years, 8 years. But what happens is, unless they succeed that test, the tangibility of their practice is more or less useless. I mean, of course, they can go and say, yeah, I know a lot of general knowledge and things like that, but tangibly doesn't translate to anything. Maybe you have a different view, but generally I'm saying, I mean, it is not as good as passing the IAS, something like that. If you have failed, you have just failed, that's it. There's nothing else. So that is the question. If I have failed, is it going to be a complete absolute failure, or will there be anything called as a partial marking or a partial success, is the question. Now Krishna's answer. Chaitanya Mataji, would you like to read? Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
श्रीभगवानुवाच पार्थ नैवेह नामुत्र विनाशस्तस्य विद्यते न हि
Kalyanakrit
कश्चित् न हि कल्याणकृत् कश्चित् दुर्गतिं तात गच्छति.
Okay, 1 minute, stop here. So here is a suspense. what would you think Krishna would have said? Any guesses?
Durgatim.
Yeah. What would have Krishna answered to Arjuna? Any guesses? Before we go to the, let's hear. Okay. Just go ahead, Mataji.
Translation: The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Son of Pritha, a transcendentalist engaged in auspicious activities does not meet with destruction either in this world or in the spiritual world. One who does good, my friend, is never overcome by evil. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. In simple words, Krishna said, even a little bit of devotional practice also takes you a long way. Swalpamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. It's okay, you may not have been able to do everything, but still it's much better than not doing anything at all. So, of course, in the next class, we will hear in detail about what is the result a yogi will get if he practices to some extent, maybe 20%. And fails. What is the result for a yogi who has practiced for a long time, maybe 60%, 70%, and failed? What happens to them? Is the result same for both of them? Different for both of them? Will they get something at all or not? Will they get proportional to their efforts? And what is that result is something that we will see in the next class. But okay, I would like to ask you this question, that what do you think? Will they be getting result proportional to their efforts, or they would be getting nothing at all? What do you think?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
I would like to share my experience.
Yes.
I think one who has not at all tasted this transcendental activities, their state of mind is totally different from the one who has started at least getting involved in this. Personally, I do miss many classes, reading classes, and maybe even Gita classes, that I always come back to it because I yearn for it. I feel, oh, I'm missing something. So I think this change itself is a big thing. As you say, when you taste a blood, you want more for it. Like that, as you start doing Krishna consciousness, you start yearning for it. I think so. It must be having, at least this is a positive effect. It gives you a peace of mind, and it makes you yearn for something so godly rather than something material. That I think is a big thing for us. At least a small step towards your final goal. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Nice realization.
Prabhuji, it's exactly like karma. Like if whatever proportionate good you get back, that's my thought.
That's true.
Whether it is less, more, or the most,
Yes.
it's exactly like karma. What you do, you get back.
That's right. It's like, preparation for your examination. If you prepare very nicely, you'll get very good marks. If you prepare a little bit, you'll get some marks, but at least you'll pass, right? Something like that. So we'll see that in the next class. So overall, Krishna is saying in simple words that anybody who does this, do not think that there is nothing that you'll get out of it. Definitely you'll get something out of it. And it is much better than anything else. Just by doing devotional service of Krishna, just by doing these spiritual activities, there is a lot to gain. Okay, and the smallest of our efforts, swalpam apyasya dharmasya, even if you are able to do one step, if you come only one step also, it's trayate mahato bhayat. You have no idea what is it going to save you, how is it going to save you, and when. That is Krishna's promise. So just take one step at a time. You don't have to leap. Okay, don't have to leap. Just take one step at a time. And just think that, this one step is going to just simply save me. It's going to come back, it's going to come back million times just back to us. Just one step towards Krishna is million steps away from Maya, and a million steps away from suffering, million step towards spiritual realization. Okay, so let's take one step at a time. And
Hare Krishna.
yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah, please go ahead.
So, like, in these days, from hearing, like, what I have learned is that spiritual practice is much greater than material success. So like whatever success we get in material life, so that is very much temporary. It's only limited to this birth. But what practice, like what the devotional practices we do, the devotional services and the spiritual activities, so that will also carry forward like in the next birth. So even little spiritual practice we do, even although we're not successful, like even though we are not going back to the Godhead, but but whatever we have earned by doing those spiritual activities is so much compared to the temporary material success in this world.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for sharing, Mataji. Yes. We will see there are so many stories to share. Maybe I'll share it in the next class. I'll talk about some people who set out on this journey and somehow they got distracted in between. And what happens to them towards the end? Did they finally achieve the goal or they completely fell down from the path? Is something that we will see, okay, in the next class. So, okay, finally, I'll just close here. I'll not be having time to go through these purports. There's a lot of nice, interesting purports here, a lot of technical details which are given. If you can go through this purport, especially 6.40 purport, please go through it. That is one exercise for you. The second exercise is, I want you to create a commitment card. Okay, take a piece of paper, okay, something like a small piece of paper, and cut it and just write one commitment that my one step today is, and just put blanks. My one step today which I'm going to be taking is, and dash. Okay, one step towards Krishna is going to come back million times, okay, in this lifetime or in the next lifetime. Okay, we have no idea about it, but Krishna is guaranteeing that it is going to come back. So just take one step. What is that one step that you want to take today? What is that one commitment that you want to take today? Just write it on a paper, okay, and keep it in your bead bag, okay, and just follow that. Okay, devotees, we will stop here. So thank you very much for joining, devotees. Hare Krishna.
Thank
Hare
you so
Krishna
much.
Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare
Thank
Dandavat
you,
Krishna.
Pranam.
Prabhuji. Hare
Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
Thank
Dandavat
you,
Pranam.
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna,
Hare
Prabhuji, Dandavat
Krishna,
Pranam.
Dharma
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Dandavat
Pranam.
Pranam.
Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Prabhuji,
Thank you
Dandavat
very much.
Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, devotees. Dandavat Pranam.